Alright, what you're saying, peeps? If you don't know, you should know. It's your boy JD, and I am back once again. I'm back here in Double D Compound HQ. Here to give you my top 10 comic book films of all time. Now, these are my top 10 lists for not just Marvel specific or DC specific, but all together, like superhero films. Okay, so I get straight into it. Number 10, Batman v Superman. Now, for a lot of people, it got slated by so many people by BBS, but for me, it's one of my favourites because it's the first time we see Batman and Superman in the same film together. And plus, the one thing I love about this whole film more than anything was the fact that Ben Affleck proved everyone wrong when he said like it might be a shit Batman. He proved everyone wrong. And the reason why is because I think everyone assumed that how shit he was in Daredevil back in 2002 or 3. So they thought like he'll be a shit Batman, but clearly he was the best part of this whole film. The storyline was really, really good. The only thing that I didn't agree with was Jesse Eisenberg's Lex Luthor, but it kind of grew on me like a tiny bit, which, you know, I mean, there were so many people he could have chose to be Lex Luthor, like, I can't remember the guy's name, but the Smallville Lex Luthor. I thought it would have been a better fit for him, or even like just a completely different actor who could have been a more believable Lex Luthor. But I do realise that the reason why they chose him is because they want to go back to the very first Lex Luthor, where he used to have like long red hair and things like that, like a young, skinny Lex Luthor before he became like the bald genius that he is today. If you go back to the comics, that the very first time Lex Luthor showed up in the DC comics, he did have long, like square red hair and things like that. So, excuse me, that's the reason why I thought it was a decent choice for a casting, but it could have been a lot better to pick someone else to be Lex Luthor. But also, the reason why I liked it was because you know, the whole Martha Kent, Martha Wayne thing, which people like don't like and, you know, talk shit about. But for me, I get it. I just don't think that people need to like criticize the whole movie based on the fact that only because Bruce didn't kill Superman because his mum had the same first name, because that does make no sense. It makes sense to me. It makes sense to people who enjoyed the film. So, you know, just leave it at that, yeah. Number 10, Batman v Superman. Now, number 9, Captain America Civil War. I had to think long and hard about this one because, you know, it's more like an Avengers film for me than a Captain America film, because obviously you got like all the Avengers in there, or most of the Avengers in there anyway. But for certain scenes in that film, it introduced the new Spider-Man with me, with Tom Holland. It also introduced Black Panther as well, which of course we all know and love. And we also introduced the kind of love angle with Vision and Scarlet Witch, and also the fight scene at the airport, which was a highlight for me, a massive highlight. I think for everyone, especially that one scene where like you got one half one this way and one half them this way, and they all come together and it's like a massive clash and shit. It's just like the best scene, one of the best scenes of any Marvel film for me, and made me think as well, like you know, trying to think about who I like best and who I like worse now, because there's certain viewpoints that I had of certain people that changed during that one particular scene. So, you know, it's one of the best, definitely one of the best fight scenes in any Marvel movie anyway for me. I think that, well, Ant-Man was really good in it, but I don't think he needed to be there. But again, I think he was there just to make up the numbers and to you know, play a part in, you know, his arc in the whole entire of the MCU, because he might play a bigger part in hopefully in Avengers 4. We don't know yet, but just to know that he's there and that he could play a pivotal role is very important. So yeah, I think Captain America Civil War is definitely number 9 on my list, and it deserves to be there. Number 8, Guardians of the Galaxy 1. I almost went with number 2 for this one, but I think number 1 was definitely one of my favourites, because it introduced me to the whole Guardians, because I wasn't really familiar with you know, Drax or Gamora or Star-Lord and that. So it was a perfect film for anyone who didn't know anything at all about the Guardians of the Galaxy. I had to watch it, like the second time I watched it, I liked it even more. The first time I saw it, I was like kind of like, it's not exactly like Iron Man or Hulk and that yet, but I do like the comedy value of it. I love the okay, I'm trying to say this word now. The camaraderie. I hope that's said right. With all the characters and stuff. I do like the love angle with Gamora and Star Lord. I love, well, I wouldn't say I love, but I kind of like the fact that Drax is like comic relief, but I like him to be taken more seriously though, because I'm pretty sure in the comics he's like a lot more serious and more visceral than he is in the films. And I do like how he's in the films, but like I just don't like him to be too comical and too funny, because I think he was like just a comic relief now in Guardians 2 and in Avengers Infinity War. I didn't see that much of a serious side to him in those two films, but I think I'd rather see him well more serious if he comes back in Infinity War. But again, I just want to see him. I just want to see him like in a more serious role than like the more just like you know, comedic kind of ha thing everyone left at Drax, because he has got potential to be one of the strongest guys in the whole galaxy without having no actual powers and things like that. So that's why I'm sticking with Guardians 1. Number 7, Wonder Woman. For various reasons, one of the best, well, I was going to say one of the best female hero movies there are, but there aren't that many out there either. So yeah, Gal Gadot, I mean, my future ex-wife, she's definitely like put a stamp on like at least the whole women's movement of having more female-led superhero movies, and she did a very good job in carrying that torch and you know, just basically saying to Hollywood like, listen, us women can be like, you know, more powerful than some of the guys out there, because you don't want to have the standard typical 25-year-old male always saving the world, always saving the girl in distress and things like that. So it was nice to see how those roles reversed when you see Wonder Woman or Diana Prince save Steve Rogers, the guy, Chris Pine's character. I can't remember his name because I keep forgetting his name, but Steve Trevor, that's it, yeah. I liked how they both reversed of like the woman saving the man, and like him showing him like how important life is, not towards all life, not just to, you know, to all man. Because a lot of times in superhero movies, you always talk about like how the guy will save the woman, and like it's always about him saving the whole world because of like of all mankind and things like that. But with Wonder Woman, she's definitely like the in terms of like the Justice League, she's definitely like the glue that holds the whole DCU together. I think she's a very big focal point. I think Superman's like pretty much, I won't say overrated, but like he's definitely the most assumed leader of the Justice League and things like that, or the DCEU. But if you look more into it, Wonder Woman is more like him. She's more relatable. She's got more compassion and things like that. And plus, she can like she can be as strong as Superman. Apart from, you know, the you know, if you see in the Justice League with that massive headbutt puts you through the concrete and shit. So I love that scene. But the one scene in Wonder Woman that I like the most is where she comes out of the trenches, and like she's blocking all the bullets and that from all the guys who was firing at her. I think that was like a big scene, not just for like for the superhero movie itself, but for like, I think it was making a statement as to why to show how strong women are, so they can be like, you know, as strong as one woman can be. How she just stood there blocking bare bullets and shit, blocking all the haters, all the negativity and things like that. So I think like, you know, for her, for Wonder Woman itself in the film, it made a massive statement in terms of like how women should be perceived, and how more we need to get more female-led hero movies or female-led action movies in Hollywood, because now we've got Captain Marvel on the horizon and things like that. So hopefully there's more to come. Number 6, it's got to be Logan. You know, everyone loves Wolverine, everyone loves Hugh Jackman. Dare I say it's probably his best performance as Wolverine or as Logan. There was even like, I think it's the first time as well, like no, sorry, the second time I think where I almost flipping cried in the superhero movie, man, because the end scene where, spoiler alert, where Logan dies and like the girl just goes like, "Daddy, Daddy." I was like, oh no, don't do that to him, man. I felt so bad for him, man. I love the you know, how they refer to the X-Men comics as well. I thought it was kind of like a nice little fourth wall nod to like some of the certain X-Men films that happened in the past. I'm so happy that it wasn't directed by, I can't remember who directed it now, but there was no nod to like say the old X-Men There's only like, because everyone had died now, so I liked how the one had Professor X in there and Logan. Didn't need anyone else really. It didn't need Cyclops or Storm, anyone like that. All I needed was like Logan, Professor X, and Sarah, the X-23. Just those three alone, like, pretty much held the film together. And I loved how they, as the film went on, they begrudgingly got together, and like you found out how special she was, and like how he kind of accepted her as like an actual daughter, not just some random offspring or something that was created from his blood and things like that. So I thought it was very, 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 very good in that film, and definitely one of the best superhero movies out there. Speaking of the best superhero movies that there are, number 5 has got to be The Dark Knight. Now, I almost like had to change my mind on this one, but Dark Knight, for various reasons again, Heath Ledger, I mean, he pretty much made that was a Heath Ledger movie. That, I don't care what you say, that wasn't a Batman movie or a Christian Bale movie, that was a Heath Ledger movie. And you know, rest in peace, man, because he pretty much like just stole the show in that whole movie. And for me as well, because I thought like he might be a shit Joker, I won't lie. I thought it was gonna be really, really bad, but like I was so surprised and like so happy how it turned out, especially with the hospital scene where he blew up the hospital. I love that scene. One of my all-time favorite scenes ever. I forgot how, I didn't realize how long the film would be, but like it's one of those films where you forget how long the film is, and you're so much into the film, you don't even care what's happening next. You just want you just want more and more and more and more. I would prefer to see more of Two-Face. So I'm kind of hoping like maybe down the line you might see like in the Batman film, you might see a different kind of Two-Face in that. But I would prefer to see more Two-Face in that film. But even if we did though, I think Heath Ledger would like just overshadowed it anyway. So he stole the show for me in that movie. Bale, you know, decent performance as well. Commissioner Gordon, Gary Oldman, you know, I mean, what can I say about him? He's every film he's in, he pretty much does a decent performance anyway. So he's very good at that. So yeah, for me, Dark Knight, it could have been up there as like one of my top 3, but you know, you'll find out why in a minute. But like Dark Knight's my number 5, and number 4, Winter Soldier. And again, for other reasons, like I just, and for me, not like a massive, well, I'm a Cap fan, but like a massive Cap fan. But I flipping love that movie, man. Him, just to see, find out more about him and Bucky, and shows out more about you know, because you only find out a little bit about him and Bucky in Captain America 1, and like in Captain America 3 in Winter Soldier, you find out more about the relationship and that, and like you found out you actually get to feel more for Captain America or Steve Rogers in Cap 2 than in Cap 1. Because in Cap 1 you're just thinking, okay, he's super soldier and that, so you know, you don't feel that bad for him. But like in Cap 2, you actually feel for him at certain point, because he lost his friend, he finds him again, wants to befriend him again, but like it's not happening because his friend's been brainwashed or whatever. And watching him trying to like you know, trying to combat those feelings of like, do I try and save my friend, or do I have to fight my friend and kill him to save him, and things like that, you know what I mean? Just like trying to deal with all these kind of emotions and things like that, and trying to get him to get his friend back, his old friend back from like way back in the 1920s or whatever. I think that it's just such a very, very good story. And obviously you got like ScarJo in there and the Falcon in there as well, which are nice little bits and bobs that are in there. But just the main relationship between Cap and Bucky, which was basically the glue that held the whole film together, and like seeing the you know, the emotional roller coaster that they go through, just to when they're fighting each other and when they're trying to like get each other to realize that, hey, I'm your friend and not your enemy, and things like that, is a really, really good storyline for a film. And I think that that's one of the reasons why I loved Captain America Winter Soldier. So that's why he's my number 4. And number 3, Black Panther. I mean, what do I just say about Black Panther? As we said already, I mean, shit, everything about that film that I loved, from the music, from the actors, from the fight scenes, from all the stunts and that, and everything about it was just sick. It's easy for me to play the race card and say that, oh, it's a black film and all that kind of stuff, but it's not a black film for black people. It's just okay, you can call it a black film if you want, but like it's a film for all people and all races. Just because it's full of black people and there's like only 2 white guys in there and one of them dies anyway, but people try and look at this film as like a black film and that, but it's not a black film, and I don't see why you have to keep saying that, because for me, it talks about like certain social issues that happen in the world. For example, you know how there's like a lot of superpowers in the world right now that are trying to overtake or overthrow certain black superpowers or commodities and things like that. If you look at Killmonger's reasons for trying to take over Wakanda, you can see why he wants to like take over Wakanda, to try and save the world in the wrong way, but at the same time, I get why he wants to do it. His reasons are commendable, but his methods aren't, if you know what I mean. And with T'Challa, watching him struggle from his dad's death, to go from the prince to go through to the king and his trials and tribulations was very good as well, because obviously they have the ritual combat fight for him to become the king, but his actual ritual combat was like throughout the whole film, not just that one fight with him and Baku. So his trials were like, you know, dealing with the death of his father, capturing Claw, dealing with Killmonger and all that kind of stuff as well. Those were his trials to be a king, not just that one fight with Killmonger, with M'Baku. So that's the reason why Black Panther is my number 3. Number 2, Man of Steel. Now, I've said before plenty of times that Superman is my all-time favorite superhero, and I love the fact that this was like a brand new reboot, and with Zack Snyder and Chris Nolan working together on this one film as well. You know you're in good hands, because Zack Snyder, who did 300, and Sin City, and Chris Nolan with the the Dark Knight trilogy. I mean, two good directors from 2 good film franchises together on one film, a superhero film like that, is like, you know, it's a dream come true for me. And the funny thing is as well, is like, because Henry Cavill, he played Superman in that film, he almost didn't get that part because apparently he auditioned to play Superman in Superman Returns, which went to Brandon Routh, which was a decent film, but it wasn't up there with like Christopher Reeve or anything like that. And then with Man of Steel though, he pretty much was like domed the whole show, domed the whole film. You got like Kevin Costner as well, and Lawrence Fishburne, Michael Shannon, Diane Lane, Amy Adams. You know, the list goes on with how the cast goes and how they held the film together. The fight scenes were great. I loved how the little flashbacks as well, how it started from you know, as a little kid in school, and him learning how to use his powers and things like that. Because in other films in the past, you never see him struggling how to use his powers, whereas in Man of Steel, you see him fly for the first time. That first flight scene was like the best scene in any hero movie I've seen in my life, man, because it feels like you're flying with him. It was so good. I loved it, man. I could watch it all day, every day. It is sick. And it's just, you know, watching Superman become like, from still learning how to use his powers and things like that, from like learning how to fly, learning about his laser beam vision and things like that. It's just amazing to see. It's sort of like a training wheels kind of thing, where as opposed to like in Batman vs Superman, where he's got full control of his powers now. In Man of Steel, you see him like destroy half of Metropolis because he still can't control most of his powers during that fight with General Zod. But overall though, the film itself was just like, it's a masterpiece for me. One of the best superhero movies I think of all time. And definitely in terms of reboots as well, definitely the best reboot for me of all time as well. So Man of Steel, number 2. And of course, number 1, I mean, it goes without saying, but I want to say it anyway, Avengers Infinity War. I remember, man, like when I came out of that film, I was mind fucked from that film, man. I couldn't get my mind around it at all. Man, I almost cried like 3 or 4 times during that film as well. I had fighting back tears when Gamora died. I was like, ugh. Then when Black Panther died, I was shocked. But Spider-Man's death, man, oh my god, yo. Spider-Man's death was just brutal. And I just remember, like, on the way back home from the cinema, man, I couldn't speak properly, man, because the pain in my mind. I was trying to like process everything in my mind, yeah, what happened, but I was so mindfucked from that. It was just like, I can't even explain how it felt, but because it's a film told from the point of view of the villain, not the superhero, so that's what made it more believable for me and more enjoyable for me. Because obviously, with like a lot of superhero movies, they're always told from the point of view from the superhero, so like, which will make you hate the villain. And you do hate Thanos in this film, but like from Thanos' point of view, you can see why certain things why he did it as well, and like why you wouldn't hate him as much as you think he would do, because there's certain reasons why you would love him and why you understand why he does what he does. And you know why he has to kill Gamora, because he needs the Soul Stone. And you know why he has to like wipe out half the universe as well, because in reality, if you're talking reality now, like look at like how many people in the world now, like 7 billion people in the world. Resources can and are at risk of running thin. So I'm not saying that we have to kill half the world and shit like that, but it makes sense for Thanos to kill off half the universe, so like we have enough resources to carry on with life and things like that. But at the same time, though, his way of going about things ain't right. But again, you can't help but feel for him, man. You have to feel for him at certain points in the film, and obviously, of course, the Battle of Wakanda. I mean, the one scene with Thor. I mean, I think we all know which scene I'm talking about here, where he arrives in Wakanda. I mean, come on, man. That scene stole the show for me. Of all the scenes in that film, it could have chosen like Spider-Man dying, or the scene where Stark goes like to Ebony Maw. Oh, I'm sorry, but Earth is closed today. Like, I love that. I love that one-liner. And one thing I do love as well, man, in this film was like, even though I'm not a massive fan of his, but Doctor Strange was a fucking G in Avengers Infinity War. I don't care what anyone else says. Apart from, say, Vision, who got his ass kicked all the way through the film, Doctor Strange had the worst things done to him, but plus, he's the only one who could like stand toe to toe with Thanos in a battle on Titan. No one else could do that kind of shit against Thanos apart from Doctor Strange. No one else. I mean, Iron Man did his best, got a few licks in here and there, but like, Strange like pretty much just like don't know for like a little bit at least until then also just thought, fuck this man, give him that. Oh yeah, it's a fake. And and if you haven't seen it by now, man, then I don't know why I'm even talking to you right now, but you know what I mean, man. If you've seen the film, then you know what I'm talking about. Strange was a G in this film, an absolute G. So for me, Avengers Infinity War, without a doubt, is the best superhero movie ever. Now you could argue that Winter Soldier is the best superhero film ever, or Dark Knight. And I was talking with my boy D about this as well, man. Which one's better, like Captain America, Winter Soldier, or Dark Knight? And to this day, man, I still can't decide. It's gonna be a hard choice to pick. But yeah, I don't know. For me personally, I really can't decide which one's better, Winter Soldier or Dark Knight. But overall, though, for me, my number one film is Avengers Infinity War. One, because of how it made me feel, like throughout the whole film, and plus on the way back as well. Because no other film, not the superhero film, but any film at all ever I've seen in my life made me feel the way how I felt on the way back, which was like totally just mind fucked. So that's my top 10 list, just to clarify. Number 10, BVS. Number 9, Captain America Civil War. Number 8, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1. Number 7, Wonder Woman. Number 6, Logan. Number 5, Dark Knight. Number 4, Winter Soldier. Number 3, Black Panther. Number 2, Man of Steel. And number 1, Avengers Infinity War. That's my top 10 comic book films list altogether. Not just DC or Marvel, but altogether, okay? So make sure you post comments down below. Let me know what you think of what your top 10 Marvel or DC superhero films are. Let me know as well, like, what you think's better, Captain America Winter Soldier or The Dark Knight. I'd love to see what you guys think. Make sure you go and subscribe to my channel, JD Virtue. Make sure you subscribe to the Double D team for all the best reviews and reactions for all the best Marvel TV shows and films. Post comments down below, let us know what you guys think. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button, subscribe and share. If you did not, hit the like button, subscribe and share. Peace.